Milos Kerkez is on the radar of West Ham United, according to some newspaper reports. This is just one of those names that when it pops up, I say, yes, please. We played against him, or he played against us, should we say, in the second leg against AZ Alkmaar. But it was no surprise. If you remember myself and Gio's preview from before the first leg, before we even faced off against them, this guy was excellent. We spoke about him before we'd even seen him play for AZ Alkmaar because his reputation is well known. I read a magazine called 442, and every single year they do this. It's promising prospects, Wonder Kids section, and there's always 20-odd players to look out for. And it's an interesting one. I've always looked at it, and more or less they do sort of get it right. In fact, I'll show you how old I am. I remember Vincent Kompany being in that magazine and them saying, oh, he's a player of much promise. They weren't wrong, and they've been loads of them. Anyway, so ever since I read that, I've kept an eye out for this guy, and every time I've ever heard his name, I thought, oh yeah, okay, where do I know this name from? Oh, he's the guy from the most, he was meant to be the most promising left-back in Europe for the last 2 or 3 years. When we played against them when he was in the second leg, he was taking up such wonderful positions. He's really advanced up the pitch, got a great football brain, good energy. This is the sort of transfer that we have to go and get done. I often say this, you get one chance to sign, excuse me, I knocked the microphone then, hopefully that didn't bang your ears. You get one chance to sign these players, and if we don't get him now, we don't get him the next time, because actually it's the next time, the transfer after this one, he goes to Paris Saint-Germain, he goes to Real Madrid, something like that happens. He's absolutely brilliant. And his compatriot, I'm not going to try and say the name, but his compatriot's just signed for Liverpool from RB Leipzig. So he's got a mate over here, a bit tenuous. One's in London, one's in Liverpool. Why not? Look, we face competition for Bournemouth. All I would say on this is, I think he's that good. He's good enough to sign for one of the very top clubs. If we don't get him, but Bournemouth do, I think we've missed out. I really do. I think it's an opportunity missed massively on this one. So I'd very, very much like to see us go and get this guy. I don't want to talk too much. There's a lot more talk about, a lot more Ward-Prowse talk. I don't want to talk about it. I've spoken about it far too much. But I'm just telling you, it's out there. It's in the news. And there is lots and lots of it. The other news that there is this £80 million situation that's going on for Lucas Paqueta. I think my instinct is we're not going to sell Lucas Paqueta. That's my instinct. I think he's with us next season. And rightly so, and he's brilliant. But I do love the stance that the club have taken on him. I think it's really good, and I think it's an important thing to do. And it becomes more believable now. And the reason it becomes more believable, when I say it, I mean us saying he's staying with us, or if not, you've got to stump up 80 million. It's more believable now that we would only take 80 million, it's 80 million or go away because of the stance we've taken over Declan Rice. We'll get to that in just a minute. I think West Ham have had a sort of wishy-washy reputation for quite some time. You felt you could get one over on West Ham. West Ham were a soft touch, an easy target. You could come and pillage our best players, and not just that. If we were going to buy yours, we'd do it on your terms rather than ours. And I think we got a little bit more. Well, I think because of the way the transfer negotiations were conducted for Arsenal, there was a line in the sand was drawn, and when you draw a line in the sand, it's really important that you basically don't step over it, or is it the other people that don't step over it? Whatever, it's not stepped over. The line in the sand is drawn, and that's it. There's no negotiations, no parameters. Those are the conditions. Those are the stipulations. Daniel Levy has got this reputation. He's had it for such a long time that he's a pain in the arse to deal with, and because of that, people don't try it on. I wager the first bid that came in, I don't know if Bayern Munich have officially bid for Harry Kane, but it's rumoured Bayern Munich are interested in Harry Kane, right? I bet the first one that came in wasn't a Mickey take one. I bet there'd be a lot of people, if Daniel Levy was seen as a soft touch, I bet there'd be a lot of clubs who'd probably come in and think, oh, we might offer, 20, 30 million less than he's worth and just chance our arm. Arsenal did it with us. I think Arsenal's first bid was in the 60-odd million plus some add-ons. It was never going to happen. And a fair play to Sullivan, who I've had enough bad things to say in the past about him. I think he's really, really stuck to it. I never believed the 120 million thing at all. I just thought it was about getting 100 million. And I think that's really good that he's done that. I think that's really important that he's stuck to his guns. And by insisting on 120 million, he's got his 100 million. But it's really about the way that it was paid. I'm not going to labour the point because I've mentioned it enough times in these videos over recent days. But the structure of the deal, what he's ended up with, I think is really canny. I really do. I think it's a clever bit of negotiation, actually. Because what he's ended up with, I don't know if you know the details of the deal or not, it appears that Declan Rice, and we're not talking about add-ons here, there are some interesting add-ons which you don't know, but the basic money paid, no conditions, whatever happens, even if Declan Rice is good or he's crap, if he plays there for the next 10 years or he plays there for the next 2, Arsenal give West Ham 100 million. And the deal is structured over how that 100 million is paid. Ordinarily, it'll be paid over the length of the contract. If he signs for 5 years, it'll be paid over 5 years, 20 million a season. They've actually got it paid over 2 years in 3 instalments. Now, I don't know how those instalments are divvied up. I just don't know. But I like it. I absolutely like it. And he's allowed some flexibility. There's been some form of negotiation, but that's why he went for 18 months. He was never going to get a year and 18 months, but 2 years is really good. And it actually reminds me, the last deal I can think that was done like that, actually, we were on the receiving end of it. We were the ones being bent over on it because it was Frankfurt against us. They made us pay for Sebastian Haller in 2 years, if you remember. The actual final payment, so the money from Ajax was about 20 million. We went like that, and gave it. Honestly, it was in one hand and out the other, quite literally. It went straight. That was the second payment to Frankfurt because he hadn't been here 2 years. I wonder if Sullivan's learnt from that, but I do like the way he's negotiated on this. He's got his 100 million, and he's got it paid over 2 years, which helps us massively. I've gone through all the financial fair play stuff and all the UEFA stuff. No point labouring the point again. But I do like the way we've done it, and he's done himself. Not only has he done the club well, he's done his reputation a lot of good in terms of the perception for other clubs, like the Daniel Levy thing, which goes to what I was saying about Lucas Paqueta. PSG, and that's who it's understood that wanted him. PSG want Lucas Paqueta. He's not for sale. He's not for sale. He's not for sale. What's the price? Well, we're not even going to talk to you unless you put 80 million on the table. And I wouldn't mind betting that even once that happens, Sullivan would try it a little bit more and say, well, hold on, that just gets you to the negotiating table. Now let's negotiate the terms of it and stuff like that. I think it's really, really good business practice. And now, because there's an example there, PSG will probably be looking and thinking, well, actually, it probably is. Because the perception of us being a soft touch is no longer there. The other thing that the perception has gone is that we're skint. Clearly, everyone's going to know that we've got 100 million, and we've got it sort of now or within the next, sort of 24 months. So we're not skint, so we're not desperate for a few pennies. And also, we've got a trophy, which obviously that's good for the players looking in and thinking that's a good thing as well. But we've got European football again. I don't think we're seen either financially, logistically, or from a footballing sense as a desperate club. The European football will know that we've just got a new director of football. I just think we've become a different club to deal with for any number of reasons. And I think it all plays in. I just think it's really, really good news. So it looks like Declan's off. Let's hope. Let's hope they get the deal concluded really quickly. I think they will. I think it will happen within the next 2 days. There's talk of Harvey Barnes. Harvey Barnes might be happening really, really quickly. That'd be good. That'd be a really, really good signing. I mean, I'd be absolutely delighted. If we could get Kerkez and we could get Harvey Barnes over the line in the next couple of days, I think that'd be really good. But even if we do that, there's still midfield stuff that needs to be dealt with. We still need to go and get Declan's replacement. I think at that point, once the money comes in, it becomes exciting.